Good morning. Welcome in, everybody. On your way in, hit that thumbs up, the like button, the heart button, wherever you're watching and listening. We're going to talk about the crypto market. Where are we at? When is the next pump? Are we seeing the start of it? Well, I want to share some of the data points with you guys and run through the crypto news as well. I know it's been boring. I know it's been annoying. I know it's been frustrating, but this is part of investing and we have to be patient. We don't want to be emotional. We want to be educated about the markets. Let's see. We got It's Just Me from Glasgow, Scotland. Welcome in. Crypto Rafi, great to have you. Lawrence Bronson, good day. Good to see you. Men of Fortitude, great to have you. Come on in, guys. Great to see you all. It is another bullish day in the crypto market. I know some of you are going to say, Tony, what are you on, man? Are you crazy? The prices haven't been moving. It's because the setup is in process for the next rally. That's why I am excited. I am bullish and really excited, what's going to come in Q4. And we're just seeing the cyclical patterns play out here, guys. As annoying and frustrating as it is. We got oil Bitcoin to the moon. Great to have you. Thanks for joining. Guys, on your way in, smash the thumbs up button. Hit the heart button, the like button, wherever you're watching and listening, because we're streaming on multiple platforms. We are on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick.com, Facebook. We're everywhere. Ewok, great to have you. Molugeta, if I'm saying that right, great to have you. Good morning. We'll give another minute for folks to come on in. Seconds of Meditation, great to have you. Good to see you. Things are going to start getting interesting soon, folks. Just got to be patient. We're going to run through some of the data points, of course, and take a look at what's happening in the broader markets and make sure our bull market thesis is still intact. And I'll give you the TLDR. It is fully intact. All right. I think we can kick it off, folks. Okay. So right now, Bitcoin over $112,000. That's a good sign. On the daily chart, we're seeing a little bit of a price uptick, but as always, we need more confirmation. This is nothing to call home about. We need to see more strength, more volume. One good thing is that the RSI is moving away from the oversold zone, but once again, it hasn't moved significantly away where you can say, hey, that's it, the correction's over. I think there's still one more level down, honestly, and I'll give you the confirmation of that. The weekly chart, if you look at the Bitcoin weekly chart, look at the MACD. What patterns do you see here, right? When bulls are in control, it's green. When bears are in control, it's red. And right now, them bears are in control. So this is maybe a little bit of a dead cat bounce or bull trap that's forming here. And then I think we see a little bit more downside before finding the bottom. Now, does that mean we're going to spend the next month in this corrective phase? No, I think we are going to see something relatively short. My prediction at the beginning of September was that the first half of September was going to be bloody, right? That we were going to see a lot of downside. It was going to be kind of nasty, but then we find the bottom and then we start moving up. And in October, we start entering new all-time highs. But, it's a process. We got to stair step our way out of this. But right now, what I'm seeing on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin leads the market, is bearish, guys. And again, this thing could come back down, test maybe 104,000, 103,000 before going higher. So just be prepared for that. It's not a guarantee. I don't have a crystal ball, but I can look at the data and not be emotional now. Just look at the data and say, hey, look, This is how the market has played out historically, even in the last few months, going back to a year, and the cyclical patterns playing out here. But you can see clearly from the chart, there's no invalidation here, right? If you look at the daily chart, no invalidation of the bull market. We're still holding key support levels. You know, many of you often see I have just usually one trend line on here, and that's the moving average, and that is the 200-day moving average. And I often say nothing good happens below that, but when we are above it, we are in a bull market. Just go look at the bear market and bull markets, even for different asset classes, right? When we are below that thing trending down, it's not good. When we are above it and we have a trend going up, we're fine, right? We saw this throughout the bull market. Again, we're using Bitcoin as a measuring stick. Bitcoin even dipped below it, obviously in 2024, obviously this year with the tariff crash, and we came out of it. So even if we were to go down and dip below this, no problem, as long as it's not a downtrend that continues and keeps us under there. So it's really a patience game, guys. And look, we are at the stage of the market where things can reverse very easily because we're near the end. And I know some of you are going to say, what, Tony, you know, some of my altcoins haven't moved. Yeah, they will catch up. You know, how much gains they make, I don't know. That's the risk in investing, right? We just don't know. Some altcoins will perform others. Some may not do as well as you're anticipating. That's just a reality, and you have to accept that. This is why we diversify, just in case things don't go according to plan for certain coins. But what we've seen is that in the last leg, with Bitcoin running up to 124, 125K, you know, the altcoins started waking up. If we look at total 3, you see that we're off the bear market bottom, clearly, right? We're trending higher, but we need more strength. We need more liquidity. And that's where the parabolic phase, like we saw in 2020 and even 2021, is going to have to carry us. You know, we're going to have to enter that, and we will. It's just patience here. And Bitcoin has to do its thing, steal the show, then the rotation of liquidity takes place. Now, while all of this is happening in the crypto market, gold is hitting new all-time highs. What we've seen throughout this bull market is that there's a rotation among the major asset classes because we're in a macro bull market. All of it is following global liquidity. So gold has been the leader, and then Bitcoin and the stock market, you know, they follow. So gold right now is in the overbought zone. It could get a little bit more overheated before it starts correcting, but you can see the things that are happening in parallel. Gold hitting new all-time high in its overbought zone. Bitcoin, bears are in control right now. So as these things play out over the next week and a half or so, you're going to start to see the flip, so to speak, the inverse, right? So Bitcoin may be finding the bottom, starting to move, gold cooling down. So this is where we use the data and the signals and the metrics to get an idea where we're at and what's to come. So all good signs. One of the things I've been highlighting to you guys, USDT dominance, still in a downtrend, but of course, nothing goes down in a straight line, just like nothing goes up in a straight line. So you have your peaks and valleys here, but you can see the trend is downward. And I've been telling you guys, this thing breaks 4%. Get ready, man. It's going to be fireworks, and then it heads down to the 3.7% or so support level here. It's going to be fireworks. So that's where I believe the parabolic phase starts. So we've seen the collapses of the USDT dominance throughout this bull market, right? Even as early as Q1, Q2 of 2024, when Bitcoin was ahead of schedule, hit a new all-time high, the ETFs were launched, and then come Q4 of 2024, see the breakdown, and we've been experiencing that breakdown right now, but this is kind of near the final phase, so you're going to see further downside, and a lot of that liquidity will just go straight into Bitcoin and altcoins. In addition, Bitcoin dominance, you can see here, it's in a downtrend, but like I said, peaks and valleys, nothing goes down in a straight line. So you can see, though, a lot of weakness. So even though it found a little bit of an uptick here, it's consolidating, chopping, it's going to break down, and again, parabolic phase is going to start. So really have to exercise patience here, guys. Being patient is a big part of investing, but everything's still on track. And I love this chart that Crypto Wizard shared where he said nothing new here. Bitcoin has corrected 11 times this entire bull cycle. Each time, let me actually move this out of the way so you guys can see. I'll make myself smaller. He says each time has resulted in a new all-time high. Is this time different? Now you could say, but Tony, isn't there going to be an eventual top? How do you know this one is going to reverse? Well, this is where we validated with other signals, such as global liquidity. We know that global liquidity still has room to run here. And we've been seeing that the whales, the Bitcoin whales, based on-chain data, they continue to accumulate. So you can see there's no downtrend, here on the chart, but we continue to see a macro trend upwards. When this thing starts to go the opposite way and they start exiting the market, that's when you'll know, hey, this thing is almost over here. The other thing I want to share with you guys, and let me see if I can pull it up here. It's the Pi Cycle top indicator. So here are the other signals I'm talking about, right? So the Pi Cycle top indicator has helped us to identify the tops or the top zones. You can see we're nowhere close like we have seen before. And if I zoom in a bit here, I can. Right? These moving averages are not close to each other. So we still have time to go here. So this is where, folks, again, patience. I know I'm repeating myself, but I want to make sure I'm hammering this home that it is a patience game right now. And there's no invalidation. So again, don't be emotional, be educated. I should probably make a t-shirt of that. That's a good slogan, right? Don't be emotional, be educated. So things still on track, guys. We're still in a bull market. Some people are going to get emotional, like, no, how can we be in a bull market? Look at the price action. It's so boring. It's so frustrating. My altcoin hasn't pumped yet. Well, clearly, we're not in a downtrend here, and all the metrics are holding up. So let's also take a look at the DXY. You can see a lot of weakness in the DXY, and many of you know the inverse correlation there. So we're going to continue to see weakness in the dollar as risk assets continue to move higher. Another good sign, the stock market, again, the macro bull market is still intact. It is continuing to move upwards. S&P 500, Dow Jones. So all good, folks. All good. Nothing to worry about. It's just being able to stomach the sideways, boring action and not get emotional about it. All right, folks, a quick word from our sponsors, and that is Uphold, a great place to buy, sell, and stake your crypto assets. I've been using them since 2018, folks. They have 300 plus cryptocurrencies. They have 20 plus crypto assets they offer trading on. A lot of great perks and benefits and rewards programs, so check them out. I'm a user of the Trezor Safe 5 hardware wallet to store my crypto assets. They were the pioneers of crypto hardware wallets. They created all of this in 2013, and they support all your major coins, your Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, and all that. So check it out, guys. Trezor, they make great hardware wallets. I'm a big believer in self-custody. I believe it's the safest way to custody your crypto assets. And once again, I'm a user, and you can use the code ThinkingCrypto, all one word, ThinkingCrypto, to get 5% off. Check out Propy. They are leading the charge with putting real estate on chain. You can buy and sell homes on Propy using cryptos. If you want to sell your house for Bitcoin or XRP, you can do that. And their platform is powered by blockchain. I am a Propy token holder. I have been since 2018. I'm bullish on this project. They're putting deeds on chain. They've created NFTs for properties and much more. So check this out. This house is available for 20.87 Bitcoin. That's pretty incredible, right? Or look at this apartment. It looks like a condo here, available for 2.22 Bitcoin. So this is cool. This is the future. And of course, real estate's going to be tokenized. Also, check out VeChain, great enterprise layer 1 blockchain, getting adoption from many big brands and companies. They're partnering with Dana White and the UFC. Dana White recently said he bought $1 million in VET token. So they're working with a lot of brands. They even have staking. So you can check that out. And once again, I'm a token holder. And also check out I Trust Capital, a great alternative to buy and sell crypto. You can set up an IRA and get the tax benefits. And they also have one of the safest ways to custody your assets, and that's a premium custody account. They use bank tiered custodial services, so Coinbase Custody, Fireblocks, Fidelity, and much more. So great alternative. And if you sign up with my link, you can get $100 funding bonus. So check them out. Go to iTrust Capital. Link will be in the description. All right, folks. So let's jump back into the data here. So hopefully, guys, I think within the next week and a half or 2 weeks, we start to see some bottoming out and some movements, or the market surprises us and starts doing it sooner. But again, I don't like what I'm seeing on that Bitcoin weekly chart, because it shows the bears are in control right now, and the cyclical pattern can't go against the data, right? It's in the red, man. And you see the moving average here. The lines have crossed to a bearish setup. Now they will cross back to a bullish once we're ready, but it could be a bit more pain before we see any gains, if you know what I mean. All right, let's check out some news. Actually, there's one thing I want to highlight to you guys. A data point that I often don't really share, but it's one of the top signals, where we can highlight, are we near the top? And this is the crypto app rankings in the App Store in the US. And we're looking specifically at Coinbase, because every time we're near the peak, you start to see Coinbase enter the number 1 or top 10 positions. It hasn't entered the top 10. It has gotten close to like top 20. But that's going to be something we're going to look at for the blow off top. Are we in that zone? Again, the top zone, no one can call the exact top, but you can see here in 2021, Coinbase went up to number 2, number 1, and so forth, right? It entered that zone. So we're going to watch this. This is one of the signals we're going to watch, in addition to our whales selling, our Bitcoin whales selling. And, again, we're going to use multiple data points to make sure we get an idea where we're at, and we need to start exiting the market. Okay, check this out. NASDAQ, the stock exchange, filing with the SEC approval to amend rules to enable trading of securities listed on NASDAQ in traditional, digital, or tokenized form. So they're all going to tokenize stocks and other assets, and the exchanges are going to list them, folks. The important part for you is to look at which blockchains are they building on, and are you holding the tokens of said blockchain? In addition, when these assets become tokenized, you want to look if there are DeFi opportunities. So instead of buying the traditional, let's say Tesla stock or Apple stock, you go buy the tokenized format, and then you can put it in DeFi and have it earn for you, if you know what I mean, right? So you can earn additional yield instead of just holding the asset. So that's where the tokenized assets opportunity comes in, and it's amazing to see all these big institutions looking to enable this. Now, there have been a lot of rumors that Tether is selling Bitcoin, but in fact, their CEO and the folks said, we didn't sell any Bitcoin, and we have been allocating profits to Bitcoin, gold, and land. So I knew about the land news, I think since last year. They had announced that they're expanding their assets, which makes sense. Diversification is important. But a lot of people are saying, see, Tether is selling Bitcoin to buy gold, ha, 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 right? The FUDsters, essentially, people who are paid to spread FUD, have a hidden agenda. But, guys, we just want to look at the facts. So in a Sunday post on X, Arduino said the company didn't sell any Bitcoin and reaffirmed its strategy of allocating profits into assets like Bitcoin, gold, and land. The comments came in response to speculation from YouTuber Clive Thompson, who cited Tether's Q1 and Q2 attestation data from BDO to claim the firm had reduced its Bitcoin position. Thompson pointed out to a drop from 92,650 Bitcoin in Q1 to 83,274 Bitcoin in Q2 as evidence of a sell-off. However, Jan 3 CEO Samson Mao debunked the claim, noting that Tether transferred 19,800 Bitcoin to a separate initiative called 21 Capital during the same period. That included 14,000 Bitcoin sent in June and another 5,800 Bitcoin in July. So they didn't sell it. If you recall, they're partnering with, or they were one of the founders of 21 Capital, which is building a crypto treasury company or a Bitcoin treasury company. So you had some FUDsters saying, oh, look, they sold some Bitcoin. So again, guys, just be careful with FUDsters out there, and always look at people if they're telling you these fairy tales, conspiracy theories versus actual facts. Look at this. Chainlink CEO sees tokenization as the sector's rising future after meeting the SEC's chair, Paul Atkins. So I'm a big believer in Chainlink. I'm bullish on Chainlink. Macy, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Thank you for the tip. Thanks for the constant education love from Poland. Thank you so much. So Sergey Nazarov, CEO of Chainlink, met with the SEC leadership to review crypto. And it looks like, he's saying there's a big tectonic shift towards tokenization. This comes as no surprise. So that's really great. XRP Markets. Wow. Thank you so much, man, for gifting the membership for 27 months. Thank you. So the SEC and CFTC have been doing an amazing job in providing clarity. They've been collaborating, each have their own crypto initiative like Crypto Sprint and Project Crypto. So great that they're meeting with industry leaders like Sergey and many others, and they're providing the clarity we need. And I think we all see the direction the puck is heading in, and that is tokenization of assets, everything running on blockchain rails. So really, really great stuff. Now look at this. Paxos proposes hyper-liquid first stablecoin, allocates yield to hype buybacks. I don't know if any of you hold the hype token. Hyper-liquid was performing well for a while. I personally don't hold the token. There's only so much you can invest in, so many coins you can invest in the crypto market. And there's only so much capital you have to do so. And you don't want to spread yourself too thin. But, if you have the capital and you're able to jump on some of these coins, that's great. But I just interviewed the CEO of Paxos last week, and they are helping many companies to launch stablecoins like PayPal, the Global Dollar Network as well. So this is interesting that they're looking to help Hyperliquid launch a stablecoin. With the Genius Act pass, I think we're going to see a lot of players enter the stablecoin market. Look, it might become oversaturated. There's going to need to be some consolidation, and this happens in every industry. But this is one surprised me. I did not expect Hyperliquid to launch their own stablecoin. It says here, we propose the launch of USDH, a Hyperliquid first fully compliant stablecoin purpose built to drive adoption, align incentives, and anchor the ecosystem's next era of growth. So, folks, all good news here for the growth and maturation of the asset class, and competition is healthy. Look at this. Stablecoin retail transfers break records in 2025, hit 5.8 billion in August. So again, with the Genius Act pass, we're going to start to see more adoption of stablecoins by retail users, by institutional users. All great signs, folks. So really, really great stuff here. Let's see how the market's looking here. Let's see if we can jump to coin market cap. Might help us to get a better view. So, I mean, some decent price movements. XRP up near 8% over the past 7 days. That's pretty good. Solana up 8.52%. Dogecoin up 11%. So we're seeing a little bit of a movement here. Look, Hyperliquid. We were just talking about them launching their stablecoin. So they've been pumping off that news. So near 17% up near 17% over the past 7 days. So congrats to some of you who are holding Hyperliquid or Hype. Cardano up near 7%. So, it's good to see some green. Obviously, nothing to call home about here. This is just us trying to get out of this hole we've been in. So let's see how it goes. It's interesting. We got some new coins popping up here, like Athena, USDE, and like I said, Hyperliquid. They're entering the top 15, 20. So very, very interesting. We'll see how long they stay there. Look at this, Chronos, CRO. It is near the top 20, with the recent announcement of Trump Media buying the CRO token. That may not be a bad token to invest in. Not financial advice, obviously, but, The Trump folks and family are going to pump this token now that they have a big stake in it. So this is just the nature of markets. All right, I can answer some questions for you guys. Josh Clark says, yes, thanks for the consistent updates. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Josh, for tuning in. Macy says, Tony, you asked for a ZK Maxi guy. It's Porter. He's working on ZK with Deutsche Bank and UBS, plus some Asian nation, probably Singapore. Great speaker and lovely guy. Porter, can you give more details on that? Like last name and things like that? Thanks, Sirius. Thanks for tuning in. By the way, I love your avatar. It's that guy from RoboCop, right? I remember the RoboCop movie. Random fact there. David R. Morla says, anything you can tell us about Vine? Okay, so I'm assuming this is the relaunch of Vine coin and AI and stuff like that. I honestly don't know much. Let's see. This was launched earlier this year. Okay. So it's down from where it launched of 39 cents. But, that makes sense because we haven't really been doing much. And that was during like the tariff crash. So I think this is possibly a coin that could move with the rest of the market, like the total altcoin market. Once, we start getting some more liquidity and volume here. So it's kind of a waiting game right now. Nothing happening on here. Again, I don't hold this token. But interesting that it's getting relaunched. Or the brand, that is. With One Stone says, thinking crypto waiting for VeChain to have its time in the sun. Yeah. Similar to Vine, with One Stone, right? We need to be patient here because VeChain, let me change to daily here. VeChain, unfortunately, and I'm a holder, so I'm not being biased, needs to show us more strength, guys. It has taken back everything it did in Q4. It was good to see it rise above or the bear market bottom in Q4, but it took everything back. So there's some life there. So that's a very good sign, right? That there was some life, that it didn't just stay flat. But in this next rally, we need to see it show some strength. We need to see it go up, man. It needs to like touch 16 cents or whatever it is and keep going. I'm still optimistic it can do really well this cycle, but as always, there's no guarantees. And I'm saying that as a token holder. I have a pretty decent size vet token bag. So I'm hoping we can, even crack just 50 cents. That would be awesome. But we got a lot of work to do here, friends. A lot of work. And, if you look at other tokens like Solana, which are way off the bear market bottom and higher up on these Fibonacci levels, same thing with XRP, right? Very solid charts here, very strong. You're seeing higher highs and higher lows. We're far from the bear market bottom. So that's what you want to see. Same thing for HBAR. And I hold all these tokens. So HBAR, you see far from the bear market bottom, holding up, showing some strength here, did really well in Q4. So I believe the next rally can get higher. And boy, I'm hoping for a $1 plus HBAR. I think it's possible. By the way, guys, I just interviewed someone from the Hedera Hashgraph ecosystem. So that interview should be published this week. So things are on track, guys. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. Again, we want to be educated, not emotional, because we're still in the midst of this bull market. And whales play the markets. They want to shake you out. They want to rip your hearts out. They want you to get bored. They want you to get fearful, where you start dumping and you panic, and you don't want to panic. If you're panicking, you're doing it wrong. So just keep that in mind, guys. Yeah, for sure. I'm bullish on HBAR. XLM. So Laban says XLM has been doing pretty well this cycle, guys. And look, we've seen the correlation between XLM and XRP. So similar to XRP and even the HBAR chart, looks really good. And I say that even though we're in this little pullback, right? But look what it did in Q4. It went very close to that high set in 2021. So lots of strength there. And it held up. It's far from the bear market bottom, right? So I hope you understand. You see the cyclical pattern that's playing out here. So we want to see new all-time highs. I do believe it's going to break all-time highs. And the all-time high was what, 92 cents, 93 cents. So I think we're seeing some good things here. And I do hold a little bit of XLM, not a lot. And currently it is in the top 20, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. It is in the top 15, actually. It's number 15 right now. So if you're holding XLM, things are looking pretty good here. And my hope is that, could we get to that $2 range or even just 160, 150? That would be pretty good. So let's see. Again, you can go, there is the possibility to go to the 3.618, but it's not guaranteed. It depends on narratives, liquidity, things along those lines. So for example, do I anticipate XRP getting to that 3.618? Yeah, because it's been one of the leading altcoins getting a lot of liquidity. That's why I'm looking for $8 to $10, right? That range. No guarantees, of course, because I don't have a crystal ball, but it has shown so much strength it can get there. Same thing with Solana, right? You look at where the asset is at this point in time. How much has it retraced, or has it broken its all-time high? Things like that are all important to get an idea of how high it may go in this cycle. So I do believe Solana is also, like XRP, can get up to that 3.618, possibly the 4.236 extension, but that's much harder. Bitcoin usually gets to the 4.236 extension. Ethereum did it last cycle as well. You could see here, it did it in 2020, 2021. That's where it topped out, right? So that's why we use these models to help us get an idea of how high we can go. And I lost my Fibonacci extension on this ETH chart. I get it back here. From the high to the low. And yeah, look, a 3.618 will put us there 15,000. That would be nice, but we'll have to see. ETH was lagging all the cycle, but has finally caught up. So let's see what happens. Again, no guarantees, but I would be very happy even with a $10,000 to $12,000 ETH. And that's, I am biased in the sense that I hold the asset, so I want that, but no guarantee it gets there. Could it top out at just 8 to 9? Yeah, this is the challenging part of investing, because you don't have a crystal ball, but you at least want to form a thesis based on the data and these signals and metrics, so that as we hit these different stages, you start taking profits and exiting the market, because there's no guarantee it gets all the way up here. Those amazing numbers that we all want. It's possible it gets there, but the question is it highly probable that it gets there? And that's where we're going to have to watch and see as the next rally starts. What type of FOMO are we seeing? Is there some huge narrative? Is it the Fed cutting rates this month that gets everybody all happy and euphoric? Like, yeah, the rates are lower. We're going to, it's capital is cheaper and yada, yada, right? So we'll have to wait and see. Lalayika, if I'm saying that right. Hey, Tony, do you do any kind of consulting? Do you mean like one-on-one coaching type thing? I was thinking of launching like a one-on-one coaching service to help people, maybe you're new to the market and stuff. But yeah, maybe I don't currently do anything like that, but I would love to. I think I might love to do something like that. He says, I don't have any big bags, but would like a second opinion from you and not from some random scammer. I know what you mean. Yeah, look, what I would honestly do, and I'll let you know, I'll announce it. It would be like a Zoom call. So you pay for an hour of time or 30 minutes, and I hop on a Zoom call with you. And, you know, it wouldn't be like, okay, I talked to you 30 minutes, don't ever talk to you again. You'd have my email. I would keep an open line of communication because you guys know I'm here to support you guys. And it's not about like, oh, I'm here to make a ton of money off YouTube. Like, no, like my investments are what I am looking to make money off of, like my crypto assets. And my portfolio is up significantly since the bear market bottom. Obviously, I want to make more because I have bigger financial plans. But Balayika, if I'm saying that right, I will definitely announce that when I launch a one-on-one coaching or counseling type thing. Consulting, I should say. Macy says ZK name is Porter Adams. Okay, I'll check that out. Porter Adams. And who does this person work for again? Macy, if you can drop the company name in there. Josh says, I have a few friends who invested pretty heavily in the Graph token. Have you heard of this project and have any insights on its potential? I think I've heard of this, the name, but I personally don't know much about it. Okay, the Graph. Okay, let's see here. How long is it? So this token's been around since 2021. So it did okay. It launched and did okay in the last bull market cycle. Has been down, which, you know, obviously that makes sense. But let's see what we can extrapolate here from the charts. GRT. Okay, let's try Binance. Okay, so was I looking at wrong data there? Or CoinMarketCap may not have had all the data. I don't know. But Binance shows this coin went up to $2.90 something cents near $3. It's been down since then, hasn't shown much strength. You know, there was some movement when we had the market rallies in Q1 of 2024 and Q4 of 2024, but not much strength. But again, we haven't hit that parabolic phase of the market where the liquidity starts cycling through a lot of these altcoins. But, you know, if I'm a token holder, to be transparent, I want to see more strength. I would have loved to see more strength here because it means that this coin has a lot of work to do to get off that bear market bottom. It went back to the bear market bottom here, even after these small rallies, right? So you want to see more strength to get up to these higher levels. And again, if we're looking at, will it make new all-time highs? Well, the probability is lower now because it's still stuck at the bear market bottom. Now, that doesn't mean it can't rally and touch its old all-time high or just below it, right? But that's where you're going to have to live with the reality of that's a possible scenario. So this is where some of your coins, if you're looking at the charts and they're still down here, you got to put in the back of your mind, okay, this thing may not hit all-time highs. But as always, it's not so much about all-time highs as it is what price point did I get in at? What is my entry price? Because that will determine my ROI here. So if I bought in a bear market bottom and this thing rallies, so let's say $1 or $1.40, I made money. I made a return. If I bought the top of the last cycle and I'm holding all the way here, I may not recoup, or I may not make any profits. I may recoup some of my money that I invested in. So this is the reality, right? That for some of us and for many altcoins, including myself, that we have to look at the charts and say, damn, this thing has not moved yet, or it has moved yet. Okay, what is the probability of it hitting a new all-time high, and be realistic, right? So for Graph, GRT, the probability is very low for it to make an all-time high. Not saying it's completely ruled out. Again, possibility versus probability. It's possible it hits a new all-time high. It's very, it has a low probability of hitting a new all-time high. So it's understanding that concept, folks. Okay, Porter Adams from Matter Labs. Okay, I'll check it out. I pulled it up here. I see his LinkedIn profile, so I will check it out. RLC Cuber says, hey, Tony, do you own any DOT? Yeah, I have a little bit of DOT. This is from the bear market cycle of 2022. I bought some. I don't have a lot, though, to be fully transparent with you guys. Let's see. How's it doing? So just to show I'm not biased, because we were just looking at the GRT chart, right? Polkadot hit an all-time high in and this was like DeFi summer in 2021 of over $55. It is down significantly. It is in the bear market zone. Again, when we look at the bear market where everything bottoms out, 2022, right? And a little bit of 2023, this coin is down to where it was before. That's not a good sign. But as mentioned, it could rally and off the ground as when everything starts moving in the parabolic phase and the euphoric phase. But this is where I'm going to say to myself, I'm a DOT holder. I don't think this thing is going to make a new all-time high because the probability is low because it hasn't shown any strength, right? So this is a part of my portfolio. I'm going to make that judgment, while other parts of my portfolio are going to do well, like XRP, Solana, Ethereum, because they've shown a lot of strength already. They're not far from breaking into price discovery, hitting new all-time highs. So you see the contrast, right, folks? I hope this is helpful, because we want to be realistic, right? We don't want to live in fairy tale land and whatever, but be realistic and walk away with from the market with money in our pockets, even if the coin doesn't hit new all-time highs, but we have some gains from it. So not everything's going to be a winner, right, folks? That's the reality of markets. But this is where you diversify and you take your bets, and your winners can help carry your portfolio, if you know what I mean. Balal says, do you put all these price predictions on the Substack newsletter? No, I don't really put the price predictions, but it's something I maybe at some point I could do. I mostly give you guys the directional macro view. So guys, be sure to sign up to my Substack newsletter. It's 100% free. You don't have to pay anything. I do one update per week, so you won't get spammed or anything like that. And you can see I include charts and signals. What am I seeing? What am I looking at? What I think may happen next? And I usually use Bitcoin as the benchmark, because Bitcoin leads the market, right? It's not possible to fit every altcoin in here. Obviously, if certain altcoins are moving, like XRP or ETH, I'll highlight them. But I give here like the macro cycle view, Elliott wave analysis, right? So you can literally go look at this, study it, and start educating yourself as to, okay, where are we at in the cycle? How much longer do you think we have? What does the next moves look like? So in the Elliott wave analysis, we're in that third wave, macro third wave. It's going to correct after hitting new highs for a lot of coins like Bitcoin and so forth, pull back, but then a final fifth wave, and then a rollover into a bear market. Even using a Fibonacci extension, right? So the total market cap, 4.236 extension, puts us near 10 trillion. So this is where we're going to look at as the market continues its parabolic move. Are we getting close to 10 trillion, right? These are things we can use to figure out the top zone. And of course, I'll be sharing with you. I'll walk you guys through it. So the other data points, like I was saying, are whales selling, right? What are the whales doing? Are they dumping? Pi cycle top indicator, Coinbase app rankings, right? Is this thing starting to shoot up into the top 10, approaching, the number one spot? All of these things, guys, I will start sharing with you as the show continues. But right now, we got to be patient. And a great way to catch up on all this stuff, to your inbox, you can bookmark it and go to it at any point. That's a great thing. It just lives there, and you could pull up the charts like the M2 chart, the global liquidity chart I shared here. You can see room for upside. We talk about gold. I talk about the Bitcoin, whales, and much more. So, and I also highlight some of the top news items from the week. So, in case you miss anything, you can just go to that. So folks, make sure you subscribe there. Check out my book on Amazon as well, and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you every aspect of crypto, folks. So check it out. I put a lot of work into this. It includes exclusive, this is no BS, exclusive clips of the experts, the CEOs and folks explaining different aspects of crypto, like tokenization, like stablecoins, and much more. So this course, unlike any other out there, and I'm not bullshitting you, like I've seen other courses, this is the unique differentiator for this course. So check it out. Again, check out our sponsors: Uphold, Trezor, Propy, VeChain, and I Trust Capital, folks. Check it out. Links will all be in the description. Arjun says Ondo to $9. So I have Ondo in my portfolio. I'm hoping it gets to $9. That would be really nice. Let's see. So Ondo, of course, showing a lot of strength. It's a recently launched coin, right? It launched last year. Can it get to $9? Right now, the fib extensions are telling me no, but I don't know. My fib extensions off here. I think maybe, yeah, it might be, because this thing doesn't have much of a history. So let's see if I just shift this really quick here. You know what? Let me redo the whole thing. Let's see. Yeah, no, that doesn't take us to $9, but you know, could you get to 6, 7? 6, 7, I think is reasonable. So I'm bullish on Ondo. There's a lot happening there. I will be interviewing someone from Ondo very soon, by the way, guys. So try to get you all the details. So the graph is an AI play. Yeah, its chart is pretty brutal right now, though. Ziff says, hey, Tony, what kind of gadgets do you like? Watches, earbuds, t-shirts, necklace, rings, earring, watches and t-shirts. You can see, like, I love t-shirts, and especially around things I like classic rock, or, you know, I play guitar, so I like check out my Nirvana t-shirt, right? By the way, guys, on that note, I have a merch store, so, you know, you could check it out. The link will be in the description as well if you want to buy some merch. What's STRE? What? Hey, Tony, what's your feeling on ZBCN? I feel it has real utility. Doesn't get much coverage. I don't. Is this a Beck? I don't honestly know much about it. I've heard of it, but I don't know. I think the one thing I remember was something to do with payroll, crypto payroll or something like that. Okay, Zabak, yeah. So I don't hold this token. I don't know much about it, so I'm not as educated on it. But from the chart here, it looks like it's doing okay. This was launched last year. It's up. So here's the thing, guys. This is where, you know, taking a bet on some of these new coins can pay off. Obviously, you don't want to put a ton of money because there's no guarantees here. But you can have the majority of your long-term hold bags, the coins that you bought in the bloody bear market. But let's say a coin like this that launched in 2024, you grab it when it's at the ground floor, so to speak, right? Way below a penny, and it can get you some nice returns. Maybe you put a few $100 and that yields you tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So these are the plays that you can get into. Now, I used to do a lot of this. I don't have the time anymore. So I usually just buy that bear market bottom, buy the blood when everybody's scared and a lot of people are not here, and I hold. And that has worked out really well for me. Like, my portfolio is up significantly as a result. I'm not sharing that to brag. I'm just sharing the cycle. And you know, there's a saying, time in the market is better than trying to time the markets. So I don't know how many of you are buying down here in the FTX crash. I was. November, December 2022, January 2023, I was loading up, man. I bought a bunch of AI tokens. I bought more Bitcoin, XRP, and all these things. When, you know, the majority of people are like, crypto's dead, look what's happening. And then look at what has happened since then. So this is where you want to have that contrarian view against the herd. You want to be doing the opposite of what everybody's doing. So everyone is greedy. That's where you want to get fearful. When everyone is fearful, that's when you want to start getting greedy. So I will be loading up at the next bear market bottom. So if this thing goes up, starts crashing down, as markets do, right? Markets don't go up forever, and same thing with the stock market. So let's look at 2022 for the stock market. Look at that. A regulated market with tons of capital, way more liquidity, way more financial products experience a bear market. Now, you may say it's not as bad as crypto. Well, sure, crypto is more volatile, but that's why you have more upside in crypto, right? But bear market. So the stock market itself experiences bear markets. If someone's telling you this time's different, there won't be a bear market, ETFs, digital asset trade. Markets don't go up forever. And if you understand the basis, the thesis behind all this, such as global liquidity and much more, that's where you know, follow that liquidity, because it's a leading indicator as to what's going to come. My pleasure, Josh. Let's see here. Heiser Flip says, this stuff has been pumping for years, y'all. Y'all need more patience, less greed. Yeah, that's the thing, right? And that's the emotional control. Don't let the greed take you over. Don't let the fear take you over. You kind of want to be even keel. Obviously, you can be bullish, like, man, I'm excited about the market. I believe there's more upside, but don't let the greed get you where it's like, man, I want my money. I need it to pump ASAP, right? Then you kind of lose control of yourself in the markets. Dwight Perry says, I'm panicking all the time. Panic buying. Well said. Well said. Whoop. Sorry. AOC Sip says, have you seen Davin Glover play guitar? Davin Glover. I'm trying to think. I don't know who that is, honestly. Musical artist. It's like a YouTuber. It looks like a kid. Oh, no, he's not a kid. I'll check him out. Davin Glover. Interesting. All right, folks, hit that thumbs up button for higher prices. Hit that thumbs up button and we see a rally very soon. Hit the heart button, the like button, wherever you're watching and listening. And again, check out our sponsors, Uphold, Trezor, Proppy, VeChain, I Trust Capital. Also sign up for my newsletter, 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon and my course at mycryptocourse.com. So folks, like I said, the bull market's not over. This thing still has ways to go. I gave you guys a bunch of data points, no feelings or emotions, right? And one thing I was cautioning was I don't like what I'm seeing on the Bitcoin weekly chart. It looks like the bears are in full control here. And when I tell you guys the bulls are in full control, you know, I'm not BSing you. And let me see if I can get back to my stats here. Hey, why did I lose all my charts here? Strange. Okay. I lost my signals. For some reason it is not loading. Let's see. Strange. All my stuff disappeared. Lovely. See here, it's appearing here, but let me try it on this chart. Okay. This one's working. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, guys. On the weekly chart, if you see the MACD, the cyclical pattern, it's like a wave. The green is where the bulls are in control. Red, bears are in control. You see that cyclical pattern, right? This is why I keep telling you guys, it's cyclical. So when the market gets overheated, you correlate this with the RSI, right? We have to head the opposite direction to the oversold zone. We hit the oversold zone. What does the market do? Go back to the overbought. It's all cyclical. So right now, those darn bears are in control. So let's see how long this lasts. I don't think it's going to last long. But right now, this is, I think, some sort of dead cat bounce fake out bull trap here. And I think it's going to go down and test support levels and then rally. I do believe the support levels get tested this month. We find the bottom this month. Then we start rallying. And then October, we're blasting into new highs. Jose, not Jose, says the can just keeps getting kicked further down the road. Well, Jose, that sounds like an emotional take. Again, go back to the data, right? Are you disputing the data? Then give me some data and signals. But if you're just going by your gut feeling or your emotions, then you've already lost. You know what I mean? Because you're just saying, man, this is boring. This you guys keep pushing the needle or whatever, moving the goalposts. But it's like we're following the data. And again, the foundational item here, no invalidation of the bull market. The bull market's still intact. Again, pull up the charts and look at the trend. The trend is your friend until things change. It's trending upwards. And total 3, like I showed you, is trending upwards, higher highs, higher lows. Again, if you're going to dispute it, you got to bring some facts. You can't just say the can keeps getting kicked down the road or whatever, moving of goalposts and so forth, right? Just being honest. John Kenneth says, do you think Proppy is too ahead of its time? I've been a long-term holder, but the chart ain't looking good. So let's look at the Proppy chart. So John, no, you do bring up a good point. Some projects are ahead of their time. And if they're not able to, let's see what chart I can use it. If they're not able to maintain and continue to innovate, they can lose momentum and not do well. But I'm still bullish on Proppy, especially now that we have clarity in the United States around crypto legislation. It's one of those, let me change this to daily. But you're right. Like right now, it's not doing too great. But one thing I would highlight versus other coins we looked at today, look at what it did in Q4. That's a great sign, man. It did really well in Q4, not far from the all-time high. So I'm still optimistic that it can continue. That's really good. I would like to see more strength here. So don't get me wrong. I would have loved to see a little bit more. They held up some of these levels better, but that was a nice move in Q4, and I'm hoping, optimistic it can do well. But, you know, again, no guarantees. This is why we diversify, right? So just keep that in mind. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes because I have to jump on a call. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Andrew Moreno says, if you can't wait 4 years for a cycle top, just imagine the 10 years of your life you can do with your profits. Yeah, for sure. We'll see RLC Cuber. You know, there could certainly be a rotation. So guys, takeaway, be patient. Bull market's still intact. Again, I showed you the data points, a lot of data points, a lot of metrics and signals. So really got to exercise patience here. As frustrating as it is, as boring as it is, look, I'm with you. I got skin in the game. I'm in the same boat, guys. I want to make some more gains here on my portfolio, but all good things come to those who wait, right? So we've prepared, we bought the lows. We just got to wait for that parabolic phase. And like I said, make sure you're subscribed. You're subscribed to the newsletter so that when things start getting crazy, I start putting out the content, you're going to be up to speed, right? So showing you things like the Coinbase app ranking and Bitcoin whales, are those wallets decreasing, and much more. Folks, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you all. I'm wishing you the best of luck in this bull market, that you make incredible returns. I'll catch you all in the next one, and I'll try to do more of these on Mondays. My schedule got updated, so I'll definitely be able to do more live streams on Mondays. The summer was rough because of traveling and my kid being home and all that, but now with kid back to school and everything, I'll be able to do these weekly live streams. So folks, I'll catch you in the next one. Talk to you all later.